In EastEnders, Suki and Eve face challenges in their relationship after a fallout with Stacy. Vinny urges Suki to reconcile, but tensions arise when Eve hesitates to move in. Eve finds support in Penny Branning, expressing concerns about living with Suki's family. Meanwhile, Stacy faces trouble as Jack discovers her closeness to Denise, raising questions about their secrets. Additionally, Keanu clashes with Dean, revealing disturbing information, and Sharon struggles to keep Albie's paternity secret. Kathy confronts Rocky, and Ravi seeks redemption with unresolved family dynamics. Complex twists await in Walford. Eve Onwin grows closer to another woman in shock EastEnders spoilers. Could Suki and Eve's relationship be in trouble? However, the EastEnders favorite played by Heather Peace grows closer to another woman in Albert Square. After many months of doubts and hesitation, Suki finally chose to be with her lover Eve Onwin. But while the pair managed to get there happily ever after, life in Walford is far from a fairy tale, and the sixth murder secret has been weighing heavy on the couple, unbeknownst to Eve herself. In recent scenes of the BBC One soap, an argument erupted between Suki and Stacy Slater, who were both involved in Keanu Taylor's death. This prompted Stacy to boot Suki out of number 31, where she had been living since her separation from Nish. Suki was then able to return to her own home after the Panesar family disowned Nish once they realized he was a violent and abusive husband with Suki. Coming up next week, Vinny Panesar tells his mother Suki to make it up with Eve, who is smarting from her moving out of the Slater house. Suki apologizes and invites Eve to move into number 41 but doesn't get the response she wanted. In later scenes, Eve finds an unexpected support in the form of Penny Branning, who becomes an unlikely confidant. Eve opens up to Penny and admits she is worried that living with Suki's family would be a recipe for disaster. Later on, Eve finally talks to Suki about her fears. But how will Suki react? While both women try to get their relationship back on track, Stacy Slater faces some trouble of her own as her affair with Jack Branning appears to go south. It all begins when Stacy and Jack are thrown together as Lily Slater and Ricky Branning celebrate Mother's Day at Walford East with their baby daughter Charlie. Later on, Amy Mitchell and her half-brother Ricky beg Jack to let them see Denise Fox, and he promises to speak to the latter's own daughter Chelsea to try to make it happen. However, Denise is refusing to see anyone, which causes a preoccupied Johnny Carter, Charlie Suff, to insist that Stacy needs to get to Denise before Jack or the kids do in an attempt to avoid their big murder secret from being thrown out into the open. Regular viewers of the London-based program will remember that Charlie found out about Keanu's death when his mother Linda, the killer, confessed everything to him. In later scenes, Johnny piles on the pressure to get Stacy to sort the issue of Denise for all the women's sakes, so she asks Denise to let her visit. Once at the hospital, Denise tells Stacy she's no longer seeing Keanu but intends to stay put. Stacy then argues that Denise needs her loved ones around her, just as Jack walks in and demands to know why his mistress is there. Mortified, Stacy thinks on her feet to give Jack a convincing cover story as to why she's with Denise, despite her refusing all other visits. Jack is hurt when Denise turns him away and, during a talk with Dr. Abe later, she explains that she feels safe in the hospital and wants to stay. Meanwhile, Jack is still rattled by Stacy and Denise's closeness and starts to do some digging. What will he find? Will Suki and Stacy have to join forces to avoid prison? EastEnders spoilers, Keanu clashes with Dean, Sharon reveals her secret. Find out what's ahead on the BBC soap. Keanu ensures that Dean's relationship with his daughter Jade is ruined on EastEnders next week, while Sharon ends up confiding Albie's paternity secret in Linda. Plus, Kathy has a showdown with Rocky, while Stacy gets further support from Jack. Read on for details on all the big drama in your EastEnders spoilers for 11 to 14 December 2023. Dean v. Keanu. Gossip about the Taylors is rife in the square following last week's events, but things are set to go from bad to worse for Keanu when he's antagonized by Dean, who's seen making derogatory comments about his family. And the barbs result in battle lines being drawn between the two men. Later, Dean's daughter Jade arrives and, despite some initial animosity, she ends up giving her dad another chance. However, this thawing in relations is set to turn frosty again when Jade witnesses Linda tearing a strip off Dean after she receives a photo of him dressed as Santa at the Beals Eel's new grotto. Wanting to know what's going on, Jade is told by Keanu that her dad is a sexual predator. Disgusted, Jade then decides to leave town. Can Sharon keep Albi's paternity a secret? Sharon is determined to protect her and Keanu's happiness at all costs. And so, on the day of the stag and hen parties, she decides guiltily to burn a letter from the hospital containing details of Albi's paternity, but the pressure of the secret eventually proves too much to bear for Sharon, who decides to reveal all to Linda. But Sharon is then left having to put on a brave face at the party as she worries that Linda will expose the truth. Kathy confronts Rocky. Kathy is given food for thought from her sons and starts to contemplate Nish's deal. And, in scenes to be shown on Monday, she does decide to sell the cafe to the Panesar patriarch. But while the handover is happening at number 45, Nish can't help but stir the pot as he implies that Rocky was responsible for the recent fire. BBC EastEnders star reacts to Ravi's redemption as he teases unfinished business with Nish. EastEnders actor Aaron Thiara, who plays Ravi Gulati on the BBC soap, has addressed his character's big redemption arc after more than a year of villainous behavior. EastEnders actor Aaron Thiara, who plays Ravi Gulati on the BBC soap, has teased whether his character will continue his redemption. After months of being a killer and a villain on the show, Ravi has recently gone down a brighter path and has done some good, like the moment he booted his evil father Nish Panesar out of the family home. Back in December, Ravi turned against his dad. After Nish forced him to murder someone on his behalf, Ravi refused, and from this moment on and following the arrival of his secret daughter Avani, he decided he wanted to be a better person. Stopping the criminal antics and working on being a family man, Ravi has refused to forgive Nish for everything he's done. As if manipulating him wasn't bad enough, when Ravi turned against him on Christmas Day, he ended up attacking his son and leaving him for dead. Just last month, we saw Ravi drag Nish out of the house after his latest attack on ex-wife Suki Panesar, as well as him targeting Kat Slater. Speaking exclusively to The Mirror recently, Ravi actor Aaron addressed his character's sudden redemption arc and what was ahead for the former baddie. Aaron shared he liked playing both sides of Ravi, as he also discussed the unfinished business yet to be resolved between the family. He said, "The joy of playing him is even during the villainous things, he could be good, and there's always the chance that while being good, it could still go the other way. It's fun to play in that sense." On what's ahead, he went on, "I think there's a lot of unfinished business and dynamics to explore between Ravi and Priya, and Ravi and Nish, not only recently but from the past too. That father and son relationship, and also what's happening with Priya and Nish at the moment. It comes as Nish actor Navin Chowdhury told us there could be a showdown on the cards for Nish and Priya. He explained, Priya is a wonderful asset to have on side, but my goodness, what a formidable opponent she could be if it goes the other way. That is something that may or may not be tested." He decided not to reveal any more information on that, but hinted it was on the cards. Priya actress Sophie Khan-Levy also spoke to The Mirror about the pair, as she explained why Priya was giving Nish the time of day. She told us, "I think Priya is a fierce mother and that's making her very drawn to being Team Nish, meaning Team Roof over her head, so it will be interesting to see how it all plays out." On the family being tested, Navin went on, "There is more than meets the eye, and I think with respect to the Panesars there's lots of alliances and allegiances tested. There's betrayals that go deeper and a lot of double-crossing. It gets very complex, it's a messy family affair that is developing further. Would you believe that was possible? There's some messy and awful stuff coming in a good sense. Worse than we have already seen. Please subscribe our channel.